Hello everyone, welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are doing the October monthly love reading for the sign of Scorpio. Alright, Scorpios, you're up. This October period. Now this is a reading into the area of love for you, right? It doesn't have to be per se a soulmate connection. You may not be with your lover. You may be wanting to pull in love. You may be wanting to get out of a particularly difficult situation as far as relationship is concerned. So this is a look in any area of love for you, Scorpio. And of course, this reading can't possibly resonate with all Scorpios. So just take the portions of the reading that apply, if they do, and let the rest fly. All right, we're going to pull out your 2 romance angel messages for the month, Scorpio. Love yourself first. And it is safe for you to love. Wow, all right. So your self-respect is what makes you romantically attractive. This is what we're talking about with loving yourself first. We're talking about the law of attraction, right? The law of attraction works because, you know, and loving yourself is understanding the true nature of loving someone else as well, right? Appreciating that you are a child of the universe as well. And then it's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive love, right? The highest energy of love, energy of all is love. But you have to be open to it, right? You have to be receptive. And this is what it is safe for you to love talks about. So let's go right in and get your animal spirits out. Now, animal spirits in this case, I usually pull animal spirits for the weekly readings, right? And in those cases, the animal spirits can really indicate a numerous energies or things that are happening, like events coming in, people that may be coming in that week. But here for the love reading, we're looking at the animal spirits in terms of how you and your significant other are resonating this month. Okay, so that's what we're really specifically looking at when we're pulling these animal spirits for the love reading, to get an idea of where you're at or where your partner is at, and so to understand a little bit what the dynamic is between the two of you, right? So let's get right into it. The rabbit. Wow, okay. Someone's nervous, right? And the nightingale. All right, Scorpio. Let's just see what that's all about, right? The rabbit. This is a very interesting dynamic here, right? We have an earth and an air spirit elemental, right? And they're both kind of prey animals, right? They're not at the top of the apex. That's the first thing that we notice, that these animals are quite low on the pecking order as far as hunter prey or predator prey, right? So there's already a feeling or an indication of perhaps not being sort of as in charge of yourself as you'd like. With the rabbit though, we're talking about being afraid. The rabbit is the card for fear in this deck. And not in the same way that the tiger is the card for conquering fear, but the rabbit is the frightful one. He's overwhelmed. He oftentimes can become frozen because he's overwhelmed. The rabbit is the one who's always like, oh God, my fate, my fate. You know, my luck, my luck. With my luck, I'll get gobbled up. With my luck, this won't work. Oh, you know, they're always bemoaning their fate. They're the ones in the group that are always like kind of down. You know, a little bit of Eeyore character. But, you know, the rabbit also is like The rabbit is his own worst enemy in a lot of ways because he goes on and on about being scared a lot of the times. He talks about that fateful day when everything will come crashing down and it'll be over. This is like that pessimistic idea, right? What ends up happening is the rabbit can oftentimes invite its own worst nightmare into its own life. You know what I mean? By spinning up so much dust and fear and by concentrating on it and focusing it, these are the people who really are their own worst enemies. They oftentimes get themselves into really difficult situations or ridiculous situations, and then they cry about being in these situations because it's really, you know, they feel like this is what they deserve. They're generally really afraid to kind of break out of this habit. And so with the rabbit, we talk about also understanding to pay attention to your thoughts and your words, right? If you are fearful, if everything overwhelms you, right, and you just focus on that to the exclusion of anything else, right? You're just always focusing on that, talking about it as well. Sometimes we have those friends who talk like that, and yeah, you know, it's like, you ever noticed that it's meant to be sort of funny, ha ha ha. There's almost an air of the hyena animal spirit with that. But then what ends up happening is that it's like they end up, you know, perpetuating this destiny for themselves, and then it's not very funny anymore. It becomes quite draining. It can become quite frustrating. And in the end, it can really become quite sad, actually, right? So if you're resonating with this kind of energy, which I doubt, Scorpio, because oftentimes you are not really that kind of energy person, but if you are, in a sense that you're starting to be fearful of things or agitated about things, it's time to take a step back for a minute and see life for what it is. If you're dealing with someone who's resonating with this kind of energy, the only thing I can tell you is to maybe, you know, this is an earth elemental creature, so we're talking about somebody, you know, who is who can be talked to, right? And so if you're dealing with a partner who's like this, it may be time to let them know, you know, or to have a conversation with them about, you know, what is it exactly that you're fearing all the time? You know, why is it that you're always, you know, so overwhelmed? How can we get you to understand that life isn't like this? You can resonate with rabbit energy, but you don't have to resonate with it forever. You can get yourself out of it, right? So interestingly enough, we have the nightingale as well here. And the nightingale is interesting because the nightingale is almost the direct opposite of the rabbit. The nightingale has a fearless voice. It's synonymous with beautiful singing voices, right? Speech, communication, and song. And this is another reason why I said, if you're dealing with a person like this rabbit, Scorpio, it would be good to talk with them. And right now you're resonating, and I believe you probably are the one resonating with nightingale energy, Scorpio. Then right now you are resonating with that sort of animal spirit that is perfectly attuned to talking to a rabbit and getting a rabbit to listen and pay attention. These are sort of on the same level as far as prey creatures are concerned. So we're not dealing with like a tiger and a rabbit, or, you know what I mean? We're dealing with animals that are kind of on the same level, right? And that's not to say that they're on a lower level than the apex animals, but that's a different level. And so you're able to communicate with each other efficiently. Nightingale is a fearless voice, speech, communication, or song, right? The bird is very unnoticeable. Generally, nightingales are just like have a, you know, that really kind of regular brown plumage of a bird. They're not very flashy, but their voices can transport anyone listening to a calm place, right? This is the realm of poetry. This is the realm of song. Music oftentimes can heal some of the deepest wounds, and the song of the nightingale can indeed do that. This card coming up, it indicates oftentimes that there's a need to bridge your heart and your communication, your throat. These are two chakras, right? The heart and the voice. It's the fourth and the fifth chakra. The heart being the fourth, the throat being the fifth chakra. And so when this card comes in, it's an indication for you to connect it to and for you to speak out your heart. Certainly if you're dealing with a rabbit energy person, Scorpio, who's feeling very nervous, they may be feeling very frightened about their relationship with you or what have you. All right, so let's get right into your spread. We're going to pull out your 9-card spread and put these to the side. And see what your 9-card spread says about your love connection this month. I spent some time on the animal spirits because oftentimes the animal spirits can really resonate with a lot more Scorpios for this reading than the actual spread, because the spread gets a bit specific, right? All right, Scorpio, let's see what is up for our lovely water sign of the Scorpio. Enigmatic, powerful water sign for this October period in the area of love. We want to see warning signs, affirmations, reaffirmations. What is the main energy? What is the main theme for Scorpio in love this month? Cards are sticky. There we go. Sometimes the cards can get a little bit cagey. You don't want to give that up. We want a clear message for Scorpio this month for October 2019. There we go. One more smooth one. There we go. All right. Scorpio, let's get into it. Some people's style of reading tarot, they seek to pull out the cards that are flying out of the deck. For me, it's a little different. I like to have the deck focused so we can get a nice, clear message. Here we go. Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, and 2 cups. There we go. Wow. Nice. All right. King of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. Wow, guys. Scorpio, beautiful, beautiful. Here we go, the last line, 3 of Cups, celebration, 7 of Pentacles, and the Moon. Wow. All right, this is a great reading for love, Scorpio. Right away, I feel it. We have 7 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. That's okay. We're going to get into that. Wow, very interesting spread indeed if we're talking about love. 7 of Swords, right? It's the great tortoise in the hare. This is interesting. This card talks about the dream thief. The 7 of Swords character is the person who's hasty. They're always trying to cut corners, but in a sense, all of their efforts become futile. They never work. This is the person who oftentimes will resonate with rabbit energy and talk about, well, things don't ever work out for me. I have to kind of, cheat, or I have to cut corners, or else, I won't be able to finish the race, or, everybody's against me, so I have to do, you know what I mean? This kind of real, I want to say, attitude to life sometimes, And I don't mean it that way, Scorpio, in the sense that if you're in love with somebody who's, resonating with that, hopefully it's a temporary thing. But it is this kind of, for me, I'm a Sagittarius, and I really, it's hard for me to, to deal with that kind of attitude. Oftentimes I feel like, just buck up. But it's hard to buck up, right? And so with the 7 of Swords, we're talking about a person who's constantly, failing at things because they're just not willing to do it the right way. Now, at the center of your reading, I see right away we have the 10 of Pentacles. So we're talking about finally completion. Completion in the sense of the money coming in and having exactly the right sort of, I want to say, abundance, sustenance, status, material, everything that you've worked for, you've achieved to such a degree that now you can actually sustain a family or sustain a long-term relationship, right? 10 of Pentacles talks about the type of success, right, that breeds sort of lineage. This is old money type of success, right? This is the type of money and success that come in from a family that work together. This family has, you can see, this family has a crescent, right? a crescent of family, a family crescent, as it were, a family flag, things like that, family shield. We're talking about, you know, that really, really long enduring success that comes from having worked really hard. Oftentimes, Ten of Pentacles can indicate in real life terms that you are together with someone who you will make a lot of money with. You may have a partnership. It could be a family thing, you know, Biddle and Sons, whatever, manufacturing. This can often indicate arriving at a level in your life where the money and the success and the family structure are tied together and just breed more success. So let's get right into the top row. We have Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords and Two of Cups. So right now, Scorpio, you are resonating with an energy with someone that you have met your match with this person. Right? And it is certainly a love connection with the Two of Cups. Now, my readings are not gender specific, right? But you and your person resonate with Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords. Your person is Queen of Wands in the sense that they're strong enough to face anything, right? They're strong enough to face anything. They've faced a lot of ups and downs in their lives. They have internalized these lessons and really, you know, they know how to go through life. They know how to face life head on and how to integrate that knowledge and become what is this awesome Queen of Wands. This is a person who travels a lot. They can often be very eccentric, very fiery character, of course. We're talking Queen of Wands is water aspect of fire. So we're talking about somebody who's very emotional and passionate and fiery. They can be ambitious, but oftentimes not for the reasons that you think. And then you have a Queen of Swords who is in very much the same way. She is the watery aspect of air. So here we're talking about somebody who's very honest about their emotions, and they seek to be very mask-free. They seek not to wear any masks or false faces. They know who they are. They have a very strong identity. They expect others to be that way as well. The Queen of Swords can cut through any kind of bullshit. And together, you two make this wonderful, wonderful pairing. And here's your Two of Cups. So the month starts off with you two very, very sort of equal footing. The dynamic is extremely strong. This is not a competitive dynamic, okay? This is a receptive dynamic. This is a good dynamic, right? This is oftentimes when you have two kings and a pair of cups, like two of cups there, I would say that you are two alphas that have met each other, alpha personalities. Here it's not so much that you are both alphas, although you may be both alphas, but it's just that you are both at the same level in terms of your nature and character. You've really met your match, and you've met someone that you mesh with really, really well, because of course fire and air are a very good combination. Then we have a King of Wands coming in, and so one of you, and I believe it's you, Scorpio, you're going to be taking the lead. King of Wands is the leader in the sense of setting the tone of what's going on next, and I think that you're taking that step this period of middle of the month period. Because, as I said, the center of the reading card, which is Ten of Pentacles, talks about locking down business and family, right? Coming to a completion. This is oftentimes can indicate having been married, right? Or having met that partner and you two are off, right? It's completion and starting because it's a 10. So you've come to the completion of meeting your perfect mate and being in your perfect scenario in terms of how you will sustain yourself and go through life, and the fortune and the money that you're going to make. Now's the time to start that life. Now's the time to, right? Because we're at 10, we can only go back to a 1. So now's the time to go and start that life together with your person and with your business or your career or what have you that you have established yourself in. You're going to be taking the lead in this with your King of Wands, and certainly Six of Cups. For some of you who are not married, it's going to be time for you to be getting married, because Six of Cups often talks about that period where we have decided on harmony. In Two of Cups, we have met each other. We have found the balance to be with each other. Two of Cups also talks about having this really lovely balance that you found with each other, right? With someone else. Not, you know, there's, the dynamic is perfect. The dynamic is equal. With Six of Cups, we talk about your desire now to build on it, to build on the memories, perhaps to get married, perhaps to move in together as well. Really beautiful energy. And then we have Three of Cups, and so this is like a celebration, almost as if the whole world sees that you guys are together. This could very well be a celebration coming in on the heels of the Six of Cups. A lot of this is such a good aspect. It's really, there's really not much for me to say, Scorpio, you know. It's just such a beautiful connection, right? I mean, when we're talking about Three of Cups, we're talking about that, certainly that, you're with like-minded individuals. Sometimes people say that that is third-party energy, but in this case, we're talking about a celebration that you're having with people around you because they're your friends, they're like-minded, and it's as though you two, I'm going to say for some of you, this is going to be a union between somebody that you've been very close friends with for a long time. And so this Three of Cups comes in almost in a way to say, like, everyone around you or your friends and your family will be like, oh, wow, we're so happy and we knew this was going to happen. What you do end up having, though, later on in the month, Scorpio, is you do start reevaluating a little bit of what you have achieved up until now with your Seven of Pentacles. This union, this beautiful union with this person has gotten you to a point where you're like, is what I've achieved, is it enough? Is it what I really want? What do I want for my future? Because everything is now changed with this union or this commitment that you've made here, right? This Ten of Pentacles, again, could also be a lot of good fortune and a monetary gain that's coming in as a result of your union with this person, right? And so later on in the month, you may be feeling, what am I bringing to the table, right? They've bring, it may be that they're bringing the bulk of this potential for this wealth for you two to share. And it may be later on in the month, Scorpio, that you begin to decide, well, yeah, I'm bringing a lot to the table too, but am I happy with what I've achieved up until now? It's time for me maybe to reevaluate. And you go kind of into this Piscean moon energy for a little while, where you just begin to search your feelings and your heart. It may be that some of you Scorpios may be beginning to feel like you're not really sure what you want to do with your life, specifically you, right? What is the next step now for you, right? It's time to think about it. It could be that you're changing a little bit or moving careers around, right? This whole union up here is taking so much of your energy and space, right? This coming together, this balancing of this union. I want to say this has been a long time coming, right? So that this is pretty much takes up most of the month, and then towards the end of the month, when we really come into Scorpio season, by the way, because your birthdays will begin to happen at October 22nd. Around this time, this is when you just, and I'm going to say this might also be because it's your birthday month, and you know what I mean? Scorpio is always like looking at its life in terms of what have I accomplished? Am I happy with what I've accomplished up until now? You know? And you sort of reevaluate that. This spread is such a lovely spread. And this Seven of Swords down at the bottom is hastiness. I think it just came in to remind you that don't be too hasty about some things, right? Some things just come at their own pace and their own time. For them to be right, you have to let things kind of unfold in their own natural way, right? And if you can if you can embrace the fact that it's safe for you now to love, it's safe for you to really communicate with your person. Your person may be very scared because you haven't communicated with them yet. And so a lot of what I'm talking about with Nightingale and Rabbit energy is it's going to be very important that you guys are able to find a way to communicate. For you, if you're resonating with Nightingale, to calm your Rabbit down, who may be a little bit fearful that you don't love them as much as they would love you, right? This is what some of this fear could be about. All right, and vice versa, right? But this communication, and this is why Nightingale is in, this communication really has to happen in order for you to find this Two of Cups balance, and then everything else will come into line. Certainly, King of Wands is the position that you're going to be taking, Scorpio, in the sense that you will certainly be leading the way Unless you're dealing with a very fiery individual who's a very masculine individual, right, Scorpio, then they may take the lead, right? Because this person, this King of Wands, is really the one who's going to be bringing in a lot of the potential for this Ten of Pentacles energy, this money, this abundance, this good status is coming in on the heels of a King of Wands as well, right? Now, I'm saying that you and your person are resonating with Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords, but your person can also be resonating with King of Wands in the sense that they're in charge of their own business, they're in charge of their own sustenance and livelihood, and they're very successful at it, and this is what they're bringing to the table here, right? Now, if you're not resonating with that, if this is your person resonating, coming in, if that's them who's bringing that in, then certainly it'll be you down here who's kind of reevaluating towards the end of the month. Well, what am I bringing? Am I happy with all of that as well? Right? Very specific energy. Very beautiful energy, actually, I'm going to say. But that's it. I'm going to leave it there, Scorpio. If you want to get deeper into this, if you're resonating with something like this kind of energy, go ahead and book a private reading. You can always follow the link at the top of your screen. But wow, Scorpio, this is really, really interesting. It'd be some of you, if this is what you're kind of going through, go ahead and sound off in the comments. I'd be really interested to hear what some of your experiences are. I love it when a reading comes out and it's so specific and clear and succinct, right, about what is going on in the month. So this is a really, really good spread. And that's it, Scorpio. I'm just going to say thank you very much for coming by my channel and checking out my reading. If it did resonate with you, please like, subscribe, and share. Go ahead and hit the bell so you can get notified of all my Scorpion videos or my other love videos for you cross-watchers. And for right now, I'm just going to say have a wonderful October, and I'll see you mid-October for the love check-in. Bye-bye, Scorpio.